Hello, and welcome back to the humid, mucky swamps of Lettuce Lake Preserve. Here, once again, we see 5'4" alligator swimming along. He's probably setting out to go hunting for more prey, like fish, and oh look, a fuzzy little caterpillar, and Estigmene acrea to be exact. Salt marsh caterpillar. These little guys are found all over the boardwalk, so they're pretty common here. And now, to make things a little more interesting, Dan the counselor will now do his best Gibbon impression at the top of the observation tower. Impressive. But not as impressive as Dan's bowling skills.
Alright, go!
Okay, maybe Dan still needs a bit of work on his bowling skills, but still, Dan is the man. The next day, we head into the town of Clearwater on the Gulf Coast to visit Sand Key Beach once more. And on the way there, we see various interesting things like a beach hotel, which looks like a very nice resort to live in, a Ford model from 1934, which is in great condition, and also this weird turtle thing on a pole. But anyway, besides hotels, old cars, and weird turtle thingies on poles, Sand Key Beach has a lot of things that I do really like about the state of Florida in itself, and one of those things is palm trees. I've always been a big fan of palm trees, and, well, they just seem to bring out the whole feeling of the state of Florida itself, and I really don't know why I'm babbling about palm trees now. Have I really resorted to talking about palm trees? Upon arriving at Sand Key Beach, we see that it is much more lively than it was the last time we were here. Even though it looked like a storm was brewing off on the horizon, the people were still having a good time in the Gulf and hanging out on the beach in the sand. And also, wildlife on the beach seemed to be a lot more prominent this week than it was last week. You know, I've never been to a beach where there was this much diversity in the wildlife before. I've never even seen this particular bird species before until I saw a flock of it here on this very beach. They're known as Black Skimmers. Black Skimmers are similar to Terns in shape and coloration, but their bill structure is very unique, with their lower bills much longer than their upper bills. And they're also flattened sideways, much like scissor blades. All species of black skimmers feed by gliding their lower bill across the water and then snapping it shut when it touches a fish. A very unique adaptation for a fishing bird. And here we have a conch washed up on the shore. Conches are part of the largest class of mollusks known as gastropods, which consists of snails, slugs, limpets, and nudibranchs. Empty shells most often wash up onto the shore with the waves, but this particular shell still has the conch in it. A very easy meal for most shorebirds here on the beach, but I have other plans to save this little guy. Now, what do these guys really look like? Oh, is that what they look like? Oh, that's disgusting. Okay, I'm gonna throw you back now. Goodbye. Oh, it's a good thing, too, that I threw him back, or else that common snipe over there could have easily devoured him. For mollusks are part of the snipe's primary diet. Yep, it is very amazing how wildlife can be so prominent on a public beach like this here in Clearwater. Actually, come to think of it, how clear is the water here in Clearwater? I mean, we are in a town called Clearwater, so I would assume that the water here must be very, very clear. Why don't we go into the water and check it out, since I have a waterproof camera and all. So yeah, let's see. We'll take into account that there's turbulence caused by the waves in this portion of the water here in Clearwater is murky water, making it impossible to see anything. Darn, I wanted to see a stingray. But at least we got to see all these cool shorebirds. And so concludes another great day at Sand Key Beach. I mean, we would stay longer, but that storm that we saw off on the horizon before is actually getting pretty close. So it's best that we're hightailing it out of here and, yeah, heading back to Mazinga Lodge, where we'll be nice and safe from the storm that lies ahead, though actually we're heading away from it, so it's on the other side of the thing, and all the bad would say The next day, we took lots of pictures for the photo scavenger hunt. So the first thing we took was us with our good buddy counselors, and they are really good buddies. Then we went by the hippos to get eaten by them, and then we wore some crazy hats, even though I was already wearing a hat, so I didn't need to wear a crazy hat. Then we went by the Mayambe Reserve to act like a bunch of apes, and then Candice, Erika, and Alex helped clean up the park. Then we went by Gwazi, and I took a picture of them in front of Gwazi. Then Candice, Erika, and Ali took a picture next to, and then we went to see, oh my god, the pictures are going too fast. I can't keep up with, and then we went to see King Tukatukatin in the Great Pyramids of Egypt. And, or is it King Tut? Or just the Sleeping Pharaohs by the Shifting Sands or something. Okay, that's it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Camp Cheer!
Oh, that's right, I forgot to say that today is actually the first day of the 4th week, which means another introduction show for the new campers. So I'm actually just gonna fast forward through this part because we already seen this in the last week, so yeah.
Hit it, Dustin! Come on, superstar, let's go!
Well, I can't argue with that, but now it's time for another show by the Silent Drama Queens.
The Silent Drama Queens. Once upon a time, there were 4 very close friends, one of which who had impeccable style, and they all decided that they were going to go to Busch Gardens Camp. Now, 2 of them came by airplane, one of them came by car, and the other one swam. But eventually, they all made it to Tampa. And upon arriving at Tampa, they were so excited to meet all the other campers that they forgot to get into a car and go the rest of the way to Busch Gardens. So they thought to themselves, how on earth do we get to Busch Gardens? They said, you know what we could do? We could hang glide. So they climbed to the top of the tallest building in Tampa. They got a 4-seater hang glider, and they hang glided all the way to Busch Gardens, landing on Montu. Since they were there, they decided just to continue riding it. When they finally got off of the ride, the best looking of the 4 hurled, because they were sick, from riding a hang glider as well as Montu. Then they asked for directions. They found an employee. They said, we're here for camp. Look at my bright yellow t-shirt. It's supposed to be green, but I decided to wear yellow anyway. Which way to camp? The employee pointed, and off they went. Along their way, they went through the edge of Africa and saw lions and hyenas and hippos and children with runny noses. As they walked under cheetah hunt, the smartest one tripped and fell and sprained his ankle. But that didn't stop them from coming to camp. They walked the rest of the way back to camp with a tourniquet on, even though that's not the appropriate first aid for a sprained ankle. And they finally made their way to the palace that we call Mazinga Lodge. Once they saw Mazinga Lodge, they were amazed. The youngest one actually fainted out of excitement. But her friends woke her up by dragging her the rest of the way to Mazinga Lodge, where they met their counselors and thought they were the most amazing people they ever met, and were ready to have the best week ever. The end.
Thank you.
Pretty amazing interpretive dance.
Well, after watching that, the only thing I could really say about it is that Dan is the man. Well, that's it for this part. Tune into part 15, where we'll see Cape Buffalo watering, oryx grazing, elephant playtime, and much, much more. So until then, this is Ian signing off. See you in the next part.
LARP of awkward turtles.